All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are still doing well today. And it is just about that time. I have taken care of all the business I wanted to take care of with the Seahawks in terms of their in-house roster, the guys they need to release, the guys they need to extend, the guys they need to keep, the guys they need to let go, all that stuff. And all of that leads up to the point where you can start looking outside your team to try to find guys that you can bring in that are going to help you win. So, starting, I believe, tomorrow, my plan is tomorrow we're going to start doing a deep dive into open free agency for 2026. And this is all going to be leading up to that first week of NFL free agency. And my plan is, and I've done this a couple years in a row now, I'm going to be streaming all day long 5 days that week, Monday through Friday, talking about every move as it happens, with a focus on the Seahawks, of course. All right, everybody, before we go any further into this video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about the Sleeper app and some new functionality they've recently rolled out, Team Picks. With Team Picks, you can pick winners in all kinds of sporting events. Right now, we have NBA basketball, college basketball, NHL hockey is going on, baseball's going to start in a little more than a month, and of course, you have futures in the NFL, even though the games in the NFL are over. Right now, if you look to my left here, you can actually see you can bet on next year's Super Bowl winner. They've got the Seahawks leading the way in those odds, by the way, at 12%. How does that make you feel as a Seahawks fan? But you can bet on MVP, you can bet on draft picks, you can bet on player destinations, all kinds of fun stuff, even though the season is over. So that is Team Picks over on Sleeper. A lot of fun stuff you can do. All right, so it's a marathon for me. It's literally 40 weeks of streaming over the course of a 5-day period. Basically, you have Monday and Tuesday that week, which is the legal tampering, and then you have more legal tampering early in the day on Wednesday, and then I think like 1 o'clock on Wednesday, actual free agency starts, and then for the rest of the week, and well, for the rest of the league year, it's just a free agency free for all. The rules do change as time goes by. Like, I think after June 1st, the compensatory stuff doesn't matter. But the point is, that week, that's what we're leading up to. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're my best attended streams all year outside of maybe the draft. Usually get like 1,000 people in there just hanging out as we follow every move across the NFL in free agency. So that is what we're leading up to. But before we get there, we got to go through the list of free agents and figure out who to target. Now, we don't have a ton of time this year, and honestly, I don't really want to waste time anyway. So naturally, we're going to be we're going to pick our spots here. Like for instance, okay, let's sort by position. Quarterback. I'm not going to talk about quarterbacks this offseason. The Seahawks have three quarterbacks under contract right now, Darnold, Locke, and Milrow. And even if they move off of Locke, which they could do to free up a couple $1,000,000, I guess, they still probably would not be signing anybody. And if they did, it would probably just be a Drew Lock replacement, another low-level backup they can get for a couple million. I mean, I don't even think they're going to replace Locke, but if they did, it would not be anything of interest with what we replace him with if we replace him. Like, here's my needs graph from a few days ago. And by the way, some of you may notice I moved center from high to low. People pointed out in the comments, and they are correct. I thought Jalen Sundell was a free agent this offseason. For some reason, he's not. I don't know where I got that idea, but he's not. So I moved center to low. Now, so yeah, quarterback. But anyway, quarterback is no need. So I'm not going to talk about quarterback. There's just no point. Seahawks fans are not going to get anything out of it. So running back, however, is a position that I think we are very needy at right now. We don't really have a starter. We don't even really have a backup. Like right now, our starting running back, if the season started, I mean, if you fast forwarded to September with the roster the way it is now, our starting running back is George Halani. So you better believe we're going to be talking about running back free agents. Now, you go through the rest of the list here. Like, no, I'm not going to talk about free agent long snappers because that's goofy. Not going to talk about fullback because we have one anyway. Not going to talk about tight end this year. I'm going to skip tight end entirely, at least during the preview. During the week, when tight ends get signed, of course I'll mention it, but on stream. But for the Seahawks, they've got 3 tight ends under contract, and you could argue they kind of have, if they bring back Brady Russell, it's basically 4. So there's no need to talk about a free agent tight end. I might talk about defensive tackle just because that's a little bit of a unique position where you might be able to stack players up in a way that surprises you, but that's not really something I'm going to spend a lot of time on. I'm not going to talk about slot corner, and unless we cut Jason Myers or something like that, I'm not talking about kicker, and of course, I'm not talking about punter. So we're not going to waste our time on things that are clearly not worth spending the bandwidth on. We don't have a lot of time, and time is precious, so we're skipping all that. Now, when it comes to some of these other positions, we are going to spend time on them, but we're also going to be judicious in how we spend time. For instance, left tackle. Now, left tackle is a position I think the Seahawks need to think about because Josh Jones is a free agent. But let's also consider the fact that we just gave Charles Cross $100 million. So Charles Cross, $100 million, you don't need a starting left tackle. So right off the bat, I can go over here to look at the list of available left tackle free agents, and I'm like, okay, we're not going to talk about Rasheed Walker, and we're not going to talk about, say, Cam Robinson. Those are starters. They're going to get starter money. So therefore, we don't need to spend time on them because we're not signing a starter. Same for left guard. Yes, we can talk about getting a backup left guard behind Gray Zabel. Right now, we kind of don't have one, but I'm not going to spend time talking about a left guard starter, somebody that's going to command top dollar, somebody that's really, really good. Obviously, you're not going to sign that guy to back up Gray Zabel. And the reverse is also true, like center. Center is a position where we do not need a decent player. If we are going to sign a center, we need to go all out. So somebody like a Tyler Linderbaum, yes, because Tyler Linderbaum is one of the best centers in the league. But if you're going to talk about somebody like a Bradley Bozeman, there's no point because we have 2 centers on this team that are about the level of current Bradley Bozeman. So why would you stack decent, mediocre, passable players on top of each other? If you're going to go for an upgraded center, you need to actually upgrade. So that's kind of how we'll narrow things down. Wide receiver is similar, right? We have a number 1 in JSN. We don't need another stud wide receiver. We don't need a Mike Evans. We don't need that kind of guy. We need potentially some depth. Maybe we need a number 3, depending on your perspective of Torrey Horton. And if you like Torrey Horton, then maybe we just need a number 4, in which case you really are just looking for a decent depth player who can fill in for an injured player here and there. So we're not going to spend time talking about things that there's no point in talking about. But we are going to consider the possibility that the team may not look at their hierarchy of needs the same way we do. Like cornerback. Right now, you've got Devin Witherspoon under contract, and he's going to be here a while. And you've got Nicky Manwari. Some people would say, oh, you don't need a great cornerback along with those guys. Maybe the team feels like they do. Maybe the team feels like, hey, if I can get Denzel Ward, if he becomes free this offseason, and I can get somebody of that level, I'm going to do it. Maybe that's something I would talk about. I don't think the team needs to go to that level to get somebody like a Denzel Ward to fill their cornerback need, but I don't think it's out of the question the team would say, hey, if we have the opportunity to get that kind of an upgrade, we're going to go for it. All right, so that's really all I can say right now. Let me know what you guys think, but this starts tomorrow. Going to be a lot of fun, and it's all leading up to that long, long, long week of streaming. All right, see you guys soon. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your day.